March is a month where the garden and the calendar often disagree. We're currently looking at 95% soil saturation and the ground that's stubbornly stuck at 6 degrees. And in this second update of the year, we're moving out the polytunnel and onto the beds. I'll be looking at what needs to go out, what needs to stay in here for a bit longer, and why a spade right now isn't your most important tool. It's patience. If you saw the February video, you'll know we spent the last few weeks getting the nursery space ready and keeping the beds covered to manage the moisture. The goal for 2026 is simple: steady and reliable growth, working with the weather, not against it. But March has arrived, and with the soil so wet, direct sowing isn't quite an option yet. This video is about that transition, and we're going to build on our relay stage. We're going to be sowing leeks, tomatoes, brassicas and all sorts just to get us moving forward. And we're also getting the first of our overwintered modules, the onions and the raw beans, into the ground. And we're not just planting, we're working with a timeline. And today, that timeline is being dictated by the temperature, not the seed packet. March can be deceptive. The air feels ready and the soil temperature is climbing, but the surface hides the truth of the terrain. We're hitting 9 degrees here. In a normal year, we'd be preparing for a deployment. But look at the moisture levels, 95% wet. The data is clear. Don't be fooled by the temperature. The texture is the limiting factor. The environment is currently unworkable. The rain is a constant, resetting our progress every 24 hours. This is a danger zone. It's warm enough to tempt you, but far too wet to work. If I do anything with this ground now, I won't create a seed bed, I'll create concrete. So, we move to a strategic hold. We are covering the bed with black plastic to trap the existing heat and lock out the rain. We shut down the outdoor front and shift all focus to the nursery supply lines. Nursery operations begin with a high reliability relay stock. Kale and Brussels sprouts. These are followed by leeks, which are broadcast into a single tray for later modular separation. This technique establishes a small initial root mass, ready for redeployment the moment the outdoor beds become viable. Next is the beetroot, multi-sown for high density production in the new beds. By initiating here in the nursery, we're bypassing the moisture risks, currently stalling the outdoor zones. The high-value payload follows. San Marzano tomatoes are sown into dedicated modules. To optimize bench logistics, we are using a 50-50 split tray for basil and spring onions. This ensures the primary tomato companion is established simultaneously with the main crop. Finally, we deploy our defensive assets. Dwarf marigolds and calendula are sown in a second 50-50 split tray. These biological deterrents must be mature and functional by the time the primary crops are ready for field deployment. This leaves only the tender and true parsnips and French breakfast radish. These remain in a pending status. They are destined for the deep ladder bed currently under the blackout protocol, but as established, the 95% saturation makes direct sowing impossible. We do not break the seal on these direct sow lines until the technical data confirms the terrain is workable. With the modules loaded, we move to thermal deployment. We are bypassing the ambient nursery temperature to force a germination window. We are utilising my homemade hotbed to provide the 18-degree floor required for rapid development. In this phase, efficiency overrides aesthetics. Thermal management is the priority. Without this consistent heat, the San Marzano tomatoes and basil will stall in the early season chill. We are locking the variables to ensure a 100% strike rate. The nursery supply line is now secure. We monitor the data and wait for the first signs of life before the next rotation. The blackout protocol on Zone 2 doesn't halt all field operations. We shift our focus to the viable terrain. These broad beans were initiated in February. By raising them in modules, we established a robust root mass off-site, completely bypassing the early season saturation risks. Today, they are deployed into the active grid. Their advanced state allows them to anchor immediately and outcompete early weed pressure. Following the legumes, we secure the allium lines. These autumn-sown onions have held their position through the winter chill. We're now transferring them to their final spacing. Notice the root density. This early establishment provides a significant tactical advantage over spring-sown sets, ensuring a mature harvest window regardless of pending weather shifts. The early season footprint is now established. There's a natural temptation to begin feeding the alliums the moment they hit the ground. But we need to choose a different path. At 6 degrees, the soil is largely still dormant. The complex microbial work required to break down organic fertilizers simply hasn't started yet. Applying nutrients now is pointless. The roots cannot process the delivery, and the March rains will only leach that goodness into the water table. For now, we trust the winter compost layer to provide the baseline. We feed the plant when the biology wakes up, and not a moment before. This is the hardest part of the war plan. Doing nothing. Zone 3 stays empty. No runner beans, no courgettes. No matter what you see on Instagram, these crops hate the cold. If we sow them now, they sulk, they check, and the slugs win. Restraint is a skill. These beds are waiting for warmth, not just a date on a calendar. The beat for March is now established. And by planting out the module-sown beans and onions, we've begun without the risk of the seeds sitting in cold, wet, damp soil. The front beds stay empty for now, not because we've forgotten them, but because they're not ready. And when you consider gardening over a course of a year, you have to be okay with a slow start in March. It'll give you the best possible chance of a harvest in June. And now the polytunnel is full, and the initial plantings are in the ground establishing root systems, we just wait for the heat to arrive, and then we can go full steam. This is a long-term project, so if you miss the February start, now's the perfect time to go back and look at how we got the ground ready. And then you'll see where we're taking a much more deliberate approach at this stage. And for those of you following along, have you managed to get anything planted yet? Or are you waiting for the rain to let up? Let me know in the comments how your soil's getting along. And in the April update, things already start to take off. So I'll see you then.